Well, good morning, everyone. Another Saturday. Hold on a second. While we have everybody up and running, we're going to post this in a few places, and we are going to be back shortly. Post this in a few places, and we are going to be good morning, good morning, good morning. From the East Coast of the good old USA, we are back for number 48. Number 48 of Final Cut TV and Coffee. We have 4 more to go till we hit the 1 year mark. 1 year we've been doing these. Can you imagine? 1 year we've been doing these. It's incredible. I enjoy them. everybody else like, well, you show up, so I presume everybody else does like these. So we got some information about Final Cut Pro today to talk about. Some, as usual, this is like the worldwide Final Cut Pro community chat to talk about Final Cut Pro, because who else is doing anything? Nobody. Nobody's doing any live Final Cut Pro things like we are, so here we are. We're going to wait for a few more people to show up, and then we're going to get started. But who is going to buy the Vision Pros? Anybody going to be buying the Vision Pros? I think they go on sale on the 19th. Is that when it is? Something like that. Let's see what we got here. So, I didn't actually, I put the live stream up. If you're watching from the Mac Pro 2019 and 2023 Facebook group, I did that by mistake, but if you don't mind it being on there, I'll leave it on there. When I was going to the Facebook post, I pressed the Mac Pro 2019 and 2023 Facebook group by mistake, but people seem to like it, so I guess leave it up. No Vision Pro yet, our friend Eric says. Yeah, I know it's not out yet, but I'm just wondering if anybody is going to plan on ordering it. So I have nothing against it. It's fine. It's just everybody's got a budget. My budget does not include the Vision Pro. At some point in the future, perhaps, but not right now. I'm going to try something here. Let me see what this is. Does that work or not? I got a little side light here I was looking at putting on, but I'm not sure if it's working. I don't think it is. I'll turn it back off again. Oh, I got to do this and then do this and then do this. There we go. I was just experimenting with some lighting situations. So we got some things to talk about Final Cut Pro wise today. Let's go over to, well, here's the main thing is I think we're going to see 10.7.2 update to Final Cut Pro around the same time that the Vision Pro comes out. I think they're going to update Final Cut Pro around that same time, because if they put the Vision Pro out and you can film the Vision Pro video with your iPhone, it would be nice to be able to edit it in Final Cut Pro. So I think we'll see 10.7.2 around the same time. I mean, I'm not planning on getting one, but may change my mind later, or version 2. Yeah, I would definitely wait till version 2. First off, it'll be cheaper and it'll be another generation past where they are right now. I mean, I'm sure it looks incredible, right? I would have to get those prescription lenses. I'm sure, thank you very much for the thumbs up. I'm sure it would look incredible, that spatial video that they're doing. But there's a couple of weird things. They have people talking to a human being in the same room with the goggles on. No way. There's no way. That's completely weird for me. If I was in a room and somebody put those goggles on, I'd turn around and leave the room. I'm not going to talk to somebody in person through those goggles. If we were doing a broadcast and somebody tried to do those goggles on the broadcast, nope, that's not going to happen. So talking, one human has the goggles, one human doesn't, that's weird. That's too weird to me. So that's a big no for me. But I'd like to try them. I mean, I'm sure that's incredible. Especially, like, here's what the thing is. If you have your partner, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever, and you both have a pair and you're watching the same movie at the same time, I'm sure that's pretty cool. Except that when you can't look at each other with your goggles on, it's just silly. Complete silliness. Look what we have. We got a new camera set up. Here we go. Cat room. So that is, let me turn this on. That is Miss Amanda Jones. One of our many cats that we've saved from outside. Miss Amanda Jones. There she is. Miss Amanda Jones. Now, let me just do this. Let me see here. Where is my... Is it over here? I'm just going to switch to something real quick. Nope, it's not there. What about graphics? Is it over in the graphics? Yes, it's over in the graphics. So let me take this over to here. Now let's go back to the cat room and turn this off, turn that off. There we go. So that little cat down there that's resting in the cat tree is Miss Amanda Jones. That's one of the ones that we talked about. We rescued her from the outside. If you can see out through that window over there, that's a busy road, and she was going back and forth across that road. So something had to happen. We brought her inside, took care of her. She's fine. So, yeah, it'll be interesting if people are going to edit with those. I know they originally showed Final Cut Pro in the demo, but I wonder how accurate it's going to be, like scrolling timeline and some other things. I wonder how accurate editing like that is going to be. I don't know. I don't know what's the case there. So let's do this. Well, we got some things to talk about. There's some things been on Facebook. I found some things rather funny. Let me just pull this up. I forgot to do that. All right, let me go back to here. Let me go back to here a second. Huh. That's interesting. No, I don't want that. Let me just go here and do this and do this. There we go. Order with, there we go. Now I'm going to take this and put it over. How did that get down there? That's bizarre. Take this and put it over Graphics 2. Then we'll go to Graphics 2. Now I should be, there we go. So this is one of the things, I saw this on Twitter this morning. 100% off Advanced Final Cut Pro 7 training. Thank you for the thumbs up. It's appreciated. 100% off Advanced Final Cut Pro 7. That's not 10.7. That's just Final Cut Pro 7 training. So I thought that was rather bizarre. Now, while we're over here, I did see this. I did see there's a comment on Twitter about a problem with the new FCP XML D. I didn't realize they added a D to Final Cut Pro XML, but apparently there's some kind of an issue with that. Does anybody in the audience know more about that than I do? I just saw this one post. I think I've seen it. I think I have seen it different places. Let me just do this real quick. Add it over there. So I think I've seen it. Let me go over here. So this is where you go. No, we got two of me. Look at that. We don't want two of me. Let's close this one down. So I think this is a place FCP XMLD converter. It converts XMLD to just FCP XML. I don't know. I don't have that issue, so I don't know if you have to pay for it or what the deal is. You have to sign in, it looks like. Here is the URL for that. editingtools.io FCP XMLD. That's where you go if you have that issue. Now, like I said, I haven't had that issue. I'm not exporting Final Cut Pro XML right now. So if you do have that issue, there's where you can go. editingtools.io FCP XMLD. That's one of the new things. So what do you think? Do you think, who thinks we're going to see Final Cut Pro 10.7.2 to coincide with the release of the Vision Pro goggles? Anybody else think that besides me? I think that. I've been thinking that for a while. It makes sense that they would do that. Let me just go here. Well, that's odd. It's not there. So let's go here, MacBook. Apple has already announced an update to Final Cut Pro in 2024. They've already said that they're going to update Final Cut Pro to edit spatial video for the goggles. So could there be a Final Cut Pro update to coincide with the Vision Pro launch on February the 2nd? I think there can be. I think there absolutely can be a Final Cut Pro update to coincide with the Vision Pro. It doesn't make any sense to me to launch the Vision Pro on February the 2nd, but don't have the update to Final Cut Pro for 6 months or 8 months later. That doesn't make any sense. Zero sense to me. It makes sense for update around Vision Pro launch. That's what I think too. I think it does. It makes sense to do that around a Vision Pro launch. So let's go back to here. These are some of the specs. The iPhone 15 Pro can already shoot spatial video. And here are the specs as far as we know so far. Apple 3D HEVC video format. So far, that's a proprietary format that nobody else can edit. Landscape only, no vertical video. No vertical video, that's a positive. The data rate, now this might be a mistake. Data rate, 130 megabits per minute? I've never seen that's a spec of per minute. It may be correct, don't know. We'll find out. 30 frames per second, 1080p. So let's go up here to the website that I saw that information on. CNET. This is where I got the information. It said about the 30 frames per minute. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. I don't know, but that's what the article said, so I kept that information. 130 frames per minute? I've never seen FPM in a specification before. But there it is in the article. It's on fcpx.tv if you want to check out that article. What else do we have going on here? Do we have anything else for graphics? Let me see. So that's the FCP XML. This was Final Cut Pro 7. If you want some free training in Final Cut Pro 7, they say 100% off. So here is, what is this? Scrolling. Oh, this is FCPX.tv. I took the scrolling timeline off. Here's an Apple Tech Note if you're using Premiere. Apple Tech Note TN203457 working with Premiere. if you are forced to work with Premiere, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds before editing with Final Cut Pro. And if Premiere crashes, which it does a lot, wait for a minimum of 24 hours. And then after you do that, you can report this abuse to HR. The abuse would be making you work with Premiere, making you edit with Premiere. There's the tech note. But the update may only contain functions useful to those with Vision Pro. No, I don't think so. I think they would add more than just that function, although in October they just added function for Final Cut Pro for the iPhones. That may just be that. But if you get a request to edit some video for the Vision Pro, you'll be able to do that with Final Cut. Let me go down here a second. You'll be able to do that with Final Cut. I guess that's the point. I don't know. I mean, they could add something else in Final Cut Pro 10.7.2. Big Bot says, hey there from Toronto. Thank you for tuning in. Do you have any snow there yet? We're supposed to get a big, thank you very much for the thumbs up. We're supposed to get a big snowstorm. Well, not a big for some of you, but we're supposed to get snow Tuesday, Wednesday this week. 5 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, something like that. It's going to be very, very cold starting on, where is it? Very, very cold starting on Tuesday, something like that. Very, very cold starting on Tuesday. So this is what we're looking at. Sunday, Monday, high of 31. Tuesday, 33 with a 50% chance of snow. Look at this nighttime temperature, 13 degrees. That's cold. That's cold for the East Coast. And then it says Wednesday, high of 26, 14 degrees at nighttime. Thursday, and then Friday, once again, these nighttime temperatures are killer. Next Saturday, the same thing, 30 to 17, 32 and 21. Very, very cold temperatures. That's very, very cold for the East Coast. Usually we're not that cold. We had a decent amount, but it's turning into rain and all melting away. Well, there you go. There you go. Let's check on the cat room. Oh, no cats. Are there any cats in any of those cat trees? I don't see a Miss Amanda Jones. Oh, there might be. I can't tell if there's one in that far corner or not. This is the front cat room facing east, so they get sun first thing in the morning. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. All right, let's go over to here real quick while I have everybody. Movies. Let's go over here. This is, let me, here. This is, let me turn this back to circle. This is the hotel we stayed at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, the Aloft. And then I went outside. This is the difference between East Coast and West Coast time. I'm up at like 1:30. What time is it? 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Because to me, it's the normal time that I get up. So I'm going out for a walk and checking out the So what had happened was I got there Sunday, late afternoon, maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, but my body clock was still 3 hours, behind, 3 hours ahead. So when it got to be midnight, it was 3 a.m. East Coast time, and that's my normal time that I get up, 3:30 or so. So I was wide awake at 12 midnight West Coast time, so I said, I'm wide awake, I might as well go out for a walk. I went out for a walk just to see, there's a local store down there, but it wasn't open, to see if, what was going to be open that time in the morning, and nothing was open. I was kind of surprised. And also we had to walk from the loft down to the presentation place. So let's go over here. Let's see what else we have. This is where we had lunch. We had lunch here. Let me see. We had lunch outdoors at a patio. They provided boxed lunch. That's Trevor Horton. And we have Brett Williams as well.
Richard.
Final Cut Pro 10.7?
11. Well, that would be,
and I think if they do 11, they're going to charge us again, which is fine. I don't mind.
We were just talking about that. Yeah, we said if they did do 11, it was like a whole new thing. I'd be happy to pay for it.
Absolutely. As we talked about, if they ever do Final Cut Pro 11, well, at some point they're probably going to. If they do, let me move this down a little bit, I don't mind them charging for it again. That's fine. I mean, all these years we'll be up 13 years of free updates for a one-time price. So if they go make a jump from Final Cut Pro 10 to 11, no problem if they charge us again for us. Hello from Amsterdam. How you doing? So I'm not encouraging them to charge us. I'm just saying it wouldn't bother me after 13 years of free updates. The good old Final Cut Pro team. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. The good old Final Cut Pro team who watch these videos. So Don Stafford said, good morning from North Carolina. You're getting some weather, right? You're getting a lot of rain and wind and stuff down there. I don't know if you got any tornadoes. We didn't get any up here. Last weekend we had a lot of rain and stuff, but we had wind and rain, 50-mile-an-hour winds. So anybody out there? Nobody in the Final Cut TV cat room. There was somebody in there, but nobody's in there right now. Let's go back over to here. There's our tech note. So when we were at, let me see what else we have here. FCP XML. Turn that off. Turn that off. No, I can't see anything else. Don says, wind today, rain expected. We're supposed to get, I think it's raining now, but we're supposed to get snow this week. Now, thank you very much for the thumbs up. It's appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, to the YouTube channel. So I didn't run my snow, I have a 12 horsepower or 11 horsepower Craftsman snowblower. It's got 6 forward speeds, 2 reverse speeds. It's got a headlamp. It's pretty powerful because if we get snowed in, there's no way I could shovel myself out. If it got a deep snow, it's too much. You have to have powered equipment to get out of here. So I bought this years ago. I didn't use it last year. I'd started it up earlier in the year. It was running a little bit rough. So let me see if I have that. I said, let me see if I can tune this up or whatever. And I replaced the spark plug. I'm pretty handy with stuff like that. But let me see what else. Let me just check something here. Yeah. So anyway, I tuned it up and I put a new carburetor. I got a new carburetor. It's amazing you can find these things. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. I found a carburetor. This thing's 10 or 12 years old, maybe older. It's Craftsman. I went online on Amazon.com and found a carburetor for it. Now, it was a little difficult finding it by number, so I had to I took it off the snowblower and did a visual match, and it worked fine. So I put a new carburetor on, so I'm ready with the snowblower. The snowblower is certainly good, but it's still work. You're constantly moving and twisting, and you can only go so fast, so even though I have the snowblower, it's still work. Let me see if I have that. There we go. I got it right there. Let's go over back to the movies. So here is my snowblower. I'm not sure why it's not playing. That's the carburetor that I replaced. I figured the best way to not have a snowstorm, we were expecting one, they were predicting one like 2 weeks ago, was for me to tune up the snowblower. And it worked. We did not get any snow. We did not get any snow, but I think we're going to get hit this week. I think we are going to get hit this week. Marcus Moore, hey there from Brooklyn. How are you doing, Marcus? Glad you could tune in. Morning, Richard. I'm listening, but shooting a surf contest this morning. It's a nice 38 degrees. That is cold. Our friend Jeff Orbaio, I'm not sure where are you shooting 38 degrees. 38 degrees and surfing? That seems too cold to be surfing. You should be warmer than that. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. What do we got here? Nobody is in the cat room this morning. Usually there's a bunch of cats in there. Maybe they're camera shy. Maybe they're camera shy. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. Got a lot of thumbs up again, as usual. What else do we have? 38 degrees Celsius. Would that be pretty hot? I'm not sure. I think Jeff's in the United States. I know Jeff's in the United States. So 38 degrees would be Fahrenheit. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Appreciated. So the only thing is coming up here's what we got coming up in the within the next 90 days. Saturday, yeah. 3 months from now we have NAB. Now, the Final Cut Pro team has absolutely been at NAB before with presentations. They were in 2017 and 2018. They did presentations. 2017, they did the 2 million user update in the convention center. This was not off-site. It was in the convention center. 2018, they did the 2.5 million update in the convention center. They have a room there. They had a free event for people. And then we had 2019. Our friend Alistair says, good morning from Jamaica. Thank you for tuning in. In 2019, they had somebody from the Final Cut Pro team on the Faster Together stage. So 2017, 2018, and 2019, all 3 of those years, they had representation from the Final Cut Pro team at NAB. Question is, what are they going to do for 2024? Is there going to be an official Final Cut Pro thing at NAB? There used to be many more things happening at NAB with Final Cut Pro. Used to be a lot of things. I have a Facebook group specifically. It's called FCP NAB. It's for any Final Cut Pro related events at NAB. Now, Monday night, there is going to be a super meet. Dan Berube is going to have a super meet. He's announced it, if things go as planned. And there'll be some Final Cut Pro people there. I think the last time I had, Steve Martin was there, and the Final Cut Bro was there, and Dylan John was there, Serena Catania was there. A lot of Final Cut Pro people. So Jeff says he's in Oceanside, California. Isn't that cold for California weather, Jeff? I think it is. It seems like California has warmer weather all the time, so I'm not sure what the deal is, but 38 degrees is cold, except in the mountains, I guess. Let's go here. Speaking of Serena Catania, ran into her at the Creative Summit, of course.
This is the strangest way I've ever live streamed before.
Are we live? We're live.
We're on Twitter and Facebook.
And the whole world is wishing they were here with us, right?
A lot of the Final Cut Pro community is.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
did you like the presentation yesterday?
I had so much fun, and it was so beautiful. I mean, even the grounds and the way they had the fruit trees and the different types of grasses and the beautiful, what they call the ring,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
It was nice. And all the employees were amazing. Today was great.
The energy level is just incredible
Yeah.
this summer.
We're here with all our friends.
Absolutely. I told everybody.
That was our friend Serena Catania at there, and Jeff says, yes, freezing. That seems really cold for California. I thought California was warmer. But I'm not in California, so it seems uncomfortable for me, 38 degrees in water, and if you're surfing. It seems very, very bizarre. So let's watch, what else do we have? Let's see what else we have here. Do we have anything else in the graphics department? $10.7. No, I don't think we do. I don't think we do. Nothing else there. Let's go over here. Let's go to... Here's the bus at the Creative Summit for those who couldn't make it. And
the algorithm is actually your audience. And when he said that, I was like, no, I want to keep blaming the algorithm for why my views are bad and not, look back and take a look at the content, because I know the type of content that my viewers like. They love Apple content, and they love tips and tricks. They love anytime I do anything with an iPhone. So no matter what, I know if I post a video about any of those specific things, they don't do well. Like, okay, that wasn't my fault. That was something in the algorithm. But really
if you notice how close I was to that iJustine, I was way in the back of the room. But I shot that in 6K open gate with my Lumix S5 Mark II X with the medium telephoto prime lens. So I shot it in 6K. When I put it on a 1080p timeline, I have lots of options to zoom in without losing resolution. That's what that was. Right there. I was all the way in the back of the room. All the way in the back of the room. I shot this week with my drone. This has been real popular local. This is my sunrise. This is what I see most mornings. This is early, but this is my sunrise, what I see at my front window. I have a DJI Mini Pro 2 or 3, I forget which it is, and this is what I see every morning. If I go out for a walk or not. Let's post this. Pretty nice colors out there. Pretty darn nice. By the way, don't forget, we got my Snoopy mug. This is a giant mug. This is bigger than I normally drink. Usually the mugs are smaller, but got this for Christmas, so. Thank you for the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe over there. Subscribe. Over there in the YouTube channel. It is appreciated. So I'm planning on going to NAB this year. I think the next thing that's going to be happening is we'll see if we get Final Cut Pro 10.7.2 when they launch the Google Vision, the goggles. I keep saying Google. Goggles. When they launch the Vision Pro goggles. And I think there's a good chance we're going to see 10.7.2 that'll enable some level of editing in Final Cut Pro. Because right now you can't edit. You can film on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, but you can't edit in Final Cut. You can only edit on the phone, which doesn't really... Thank you for the thumbs up. It's appreciated. It doesn't really, obviously you put the Vision Pro goggles on. Do you think we'll get a new Final Cut Pro update during the release of Vision Pro? I think we will. At the very least, 10.7.2. At the very least, 10.7.2, and it'll be the ability to do some basic editing. What do they call that video? It's not 3D, but whatever it is, the Vision Pro video, some basic editing in Final Cut Pro. Now, whether they add another feature or two, that'll be interesting. Last time we got, there you go. It's last time we got scene removal mask during the Apple event. So yeah, so I think they would do maybe another feature or so. So we got 10.7 at November the 30th. It came out. And then we got 10.7.1 3 weeks later to fix a couple of bugs in 10.7. So 10.7.2, if it comes out with the Vision goggles, Vision Pro, I keep calling them goggles. I'm sure they don't want to call them that, but they are. There's big goggles. If it comes out, I think we're going to see, I just have a feeling we're going to see an update to Final Cut Pro to enable editing on the Vision Pro, editing video for the Vision Pro. Shoot it with your iPhone. I don't know what else can shoot that video at this point. The only thing I know of is the iPhone. So far. I don't know of anything else. Let me check my notes. So I think we very well could see an update to Final Cut. Oh, I want to talk about this too. This was interesting. Where is that? Let me go to our Facebook page. And I'll pull it up there. Let me go over here. We are on there. So we are on there. Our friend Philip. We interviewed Philip at the Creative Summit. Nobody, that's interesting. Let me pull it up here. Summit tips and tricks. Did I put it there? I'm looking for a post that I did. Here he is. Here we go. So here's a post. Michael Cioni says, pull that text up a little bit. Michael Cioni says, I think Apple Pro Video has a new target, a new product, purpose-built with Apple Silicon and a proper lens mount. He said that he thinks that Apple could be working on a phone, a true phone, with a proper lens mount. And he thinks the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Let's listen to him. Let's go back. How do I turn this on? Is this turned on? Oh, I have it turned off over here. Sorry. Back. How do I turn this on? Is this turned on? Oh, I have it turned off over here. Sorry. Back. How do I turn this on? Is this turned on? Oh, I have it turned off over here. Sorry. Back. How do I turn this on? Is this turned on? Oh, I have it turned off over here. Sorry. It's interesting that I'm sorry, I had it muted. So it's interesting that Michael Cioni said that he thinks possibly Apple's working on a new iPhone. Thank you for the thumbs up. It's appreciated. So, and I don't think anybody else has said that, not for a while, but he did say it. He said there's so many pro features in the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max that it could be testing ground for an actual Apple camera that would actually take proper lens. I don't know if it would be the L mount lens or the Sony mount lens. Probably the Sony, because Sony's probably more popular. I don't know. I wish it'd be L mount, because I have L mount lenses. Or maybe an option, maybe something you'd attach to it or whatever. Apple also needs to address compressor. When AirDrop clips from iPhone to MacBook Pro, use them in Final Cut Pro and send to compressor. They're not identical in the compressed project. They're not included in the compressed project. Well, that's not good. Make sure you send that into the Final Cut Pro team with any examples you have. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. So let's check out here, see if anybody's in the front room. Nobody is in the front room. Not at this point, anyway. Not at this point. Turn that on. There we go. So, make sure you report any issues over to the Final Cut Pro team. It's very important. I had to turn the heat down because it was blasting me. So let's do this. So if you go over here, fcpx.tv, all things Final Cut Pro. I've been around. I'm the longest running Final Cut Pro website, Final Cut Pro 10 website in history. I'm the longest running. Here we go. Send your request, bug reports, or feedback to the Final Cut Pro team. Click right there, and you go right to the report page. Right to the report page. Also, try Final Cut Pro free for 90 days. Click there. Download the Final Cut Pro 10.7 User Guide PDF. Click right there, and it comes right up. Then you can right-click, and you can open with Preview. And then you can save it anywhere you want. I keep several copies. Darius says, what do you think about shooting a log on iPhone in Final Cut Pro? Is the hype accurate? It's a game changer. Shooting Apple log on the phone is a game changer. I'll tell you why. Let me get the heck down here. What's going on? Why can't I go down? Here we go. Let me just turn this off so it's not so white. It's a game changer. So when you shoot normal video on a phone, it's sharpened, and they do some kind of color. It's usually it's contrasty, and it's saturated, and you have no control over those. You can't turn the saturation off. You can't turn the contrast down. You cannot change the sharpening. When you shoot an Apple log, it's a flat profile that you can indeed work with in post. It's a much, much better for some things. You don't have to shoot everything in Apple log. Now, if you shoot Apple log, if you shoot on this camera, get the Blackmagic camera app. It's free. Absolutely get this app. It's fantastic. Here I am switching lenses while I'm recording live, going back and forth. It has scopes. It has all kind of adjustments on it. It's a phenomenal free app. There's many reasons why you want to get the Blackmagic camera app. It's on the App Store. It's free. They're incredible job. They've done an incredible job, like they always do. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. If you shoot Apple log with the native camera app, you only have one choice. You only have ProRes HQ. That's the only flavor that you can shoot. If you get the Blackmagic camera app, you can shoot in all 5 flavors of ProRes. ProRes Proxy, ProRes LT, regular ProRes, ProRes HQ. I'm not sure about 4444. I'm not sure about that one. But you can shoot any of those flavors of ProRes, and you can shoot Apple log in H.264 and H.265. But as far as your question, what do you think about shooting log on iPhone and Final Cut Pro? Is the hype accurate? It's a game changer. It's my favorite feature of my iPhone 15 Pro Max. Now, like I said, I don't shoot everything in it, but when I want to shoot something in quality and I want to work with it in post and color and stuff with a LUT, Apple log is phenomenal. If you shoot in ProRes, the file sizes are much bigger. I've reported so many issues over the years through the feedback form, and so many of them remain unfixed. Very disheartening. Just don't stop. Just don't stop. Keep sending them in. If your friends experience these problems, send them in as well. They keep a running tab of which things they're going to work on based on how often they see them. Number one, how often they see them. Number two is if they can reproduce them. They have to be able to reproduce them, or they don't know which way to go. It's most of the time. I'm doing a big multicam project right now. I hope there are no issues creeping up with these big multicams like audio issue before. I'm not sure what you mean, the audio issue. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Here you go, right here. Multicam audio is one of my big bugs. If you have pretty much any kind of audio filter applied, clicks and pops on camera, only switches even though the audio track remains the same. So I talk about LumaFusion all the time. One of the things that LumaFusion has in their multicam studio is they have a separate audio track for the master audio that doesn't switch. If you have, I think there's 4 cameras you can switch. Maybe it's more, maybe it's 5 or 6. They have a master audio track that does not switch when you switch the cameras. So if you want to keep a master audio track that does not get affected by switching, LumaFusion has it. I'd like to see that in Final Cut Pro. So that's what you're talking about. That's a big one. I put a crossfade of pretty much every angle switch. So annoying. That's very, very annoying. I can't believe, I'm sure other people have reported that. So the Final Cut Pro team does watch this. So Final Cut Pro team, please get that fixed. Multicam audio, apparently there's that bug if you apply effects and stuff. Whatever the heck's going on, I'm sure that's reproducible. I am sure that is reproducible. So Final Cut Pro team, we're telling you right here, multicam audio. Here's the post. If you have pretty much any kind of audio filter applied, there are clicks and pops as camera only switches, even though the audio track remains the same. Absolutely get that fixed. That should be a top priority. People use multicam all the time. Thank you for the log feedback. I bought the SanDisk external for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. The ridiculously short cable does not attach if you're using an Apple Silicon case. Mine does. Mine does. Right here. I got a case on here. It attaches fine. You mean the length of the cable? Yeah, I have longer cables if I need them. And I have a USB-C extension cable that's about 6 inches long to extend this when I use it on the on my gimbal. So you can get a little extension cable and it'll stick in there. But anyway, mine works fine. My version works fine. Thank you very much for the thumbs up and appreciate it. So we have the next things I expect. I expect 10.7.2 to come out along with the Vision Pro. Now, will there be other features in there besides working with editing Vision Pro video? I don't know. That I don't know. But I expect Final Cut Pro to be updated to be able to edit video you shoot on here. The initial one. It may be, they'll add more features or make it better as time goes on. The next event after that is NAB in the middle of April. NAB that I'm planning on going to. Are we going to see any Final Cut Pro presence there? There was nothing in 2023, nothing in 2022. I went to both of those, and there was nothing for either one. So I don't know. I'm hoping. But anyway, we'll get together on Monday night at the Super Meet, and there'll be some Final Cut Pro personalities there that'll be at the Super Meet. I'm not sure where that's going to be yet. Jeff says it's the WSL Junior World Championships. There you go. Tell them to have them when it's warmer next time. Thank you for the thumbs up. Lots of thumbs up today, as usual. What else do we have here? Let's check out something else. Well, let's check out, see if there's any. Nope. Look, I put up a camera. They must be camera shy. They must be camera shy today. Let's check out some more movies. So that's the Black Camera app. Let's see what else we have here. Just checking. Oh, here's one. So Brad filmed me. Grant Petty's best.
Tell me about this app you're using.
I'm using the Blackmagic camera app, so I have a 4 terabyte SSD hooked into my phone with Pro Audio, and I have 26 hours of 4K ProRes LT log, which you can't do in the native camera app, which only shoots ProRes HQ. The Blackmagic shoots all flavors of ProRes plus H.264 and H.265 in log. So that was Brad filming me, filming somebody else. I was shooting with my iPhone 15 Pro Max with my gimbal, my Insta360 gimbal, which is my favorite gimbal for the iPhone. And I had Pro Audio, and I had an SSD, which is really, really cool. Oh, look, here's a new. How many had one of these? This is one of the iPods with the scroll wheel. It takes a giant connector. What do they even call those? Those multi-pin connectors. But I still have this one, and I have the video iPod, the first video iPod that had a little teeny screen like this. I got a black one, but I still have this, and it still works. I can still charge it up. I don't know what this was. Audio only. This was the original version. So Marcus Moore says, damn, I don't want to be doing that. This whole project is all multicam. They got to fix that. Send in reports. They have also, like I said, the Final Cut Pro team watches this, so we're going to keep bugging them on this list. But you have to send it in to the report. Go to fcpx.tv and click on that and keep sending it in. Do it once a week. If you say, hey, I'm working on multicam that still hasn't been fixed, do a little video with audio recording, put it up on YouTube to a private link, not a private link, but a not public link. You can send them the link and they can actually watch. They probably know. I mean, I have seen that now. Do you ever have any issues with the built-in iPhone's image stabilization fighting with the gimbal? No. The gimbal, whenever I'm shooting out in public handheld, the gimbal is just far superior. It's just far, far superior. Now, here's the thing. If I don't have the gimbal, I'm going to shoot in, what is that called? There's a mode, video, photo, portrait, pano. There's a video mode. You can click on stabilized. Action mode. Okay, you can click on action mode, and it's this little icon over here in the top left-hand corner. You can click that on, and that does a really, really good job of stabilizing whatever you're filming without a gimbal. But a gimbal, there's no comparison. The gimbal is far superior. Walking, turning, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, but if you don't have the gimbal, use that action mode, because that does it does a fantastic, almost unbelievable job of stabilizing. Now, I've never used action mode with the gimbal, but whenever I'm shooting and walking, I use the gimbal. It's fantastic. The Osmo OM6 is also a very good gimbal, but the Insta360 has double battery life. It has twice the battery life of the DJI one. Plus, it has some other things. It did bar the telescoping. You can do like a mini selfie thing with it. It did bar that from the OM6, but it has double the battery life. And it has a little bit more payload. You can have something a little bit heavier. So I use my iPhone Max with the case and either my DJI mic plugged into the bottom of it. So this is why I like the DJI mic system. This is much better to me than the Rode Wireless Go system, because come on now. Because I can do this. I can plug it right in, and I have a wireless mic system on my iPhone, no cables, and I can connect two microphones to this, either two lapels, or I can hardwire a microphone into one of these transmitters. This is why I love this. So this works fine with the gimbal. Audio and a case, it works fine. It balances completely fine with the gimbal. But this is why I like the DJI system over the Rode system. The Rode, you got to use a cable, and I don't like that. I had the Rode 1 and 2, both, and their quality is fine, but this DJI system is much better for me. And the transmitters are tiny. These are the microphones. They're just tiny. Put them on a mic. You put them on under your shirt with a little magnet, and it comes with a charging case. Fantastic. So that's why I like that the best. Oh, here we go. I use my iPod every day to play music in office. That's very cool. You're still using it. I used to have DJI gimbal when I had an iPhone 11 Pro, and you could never turn off the iPhone OIS. I never had an issue with it. I like the gimbal better. iMovie for your iPhone is very helpful. I wish Apple would update more frequently. They've neglected the app. That's interesting. Titles need updating. Single titles, for example, cannot be placed through the full timeline. I love that. I need that wireless system too. It's $75 cheaper than when I bought it right now. So when I bought it, it was $329. I bought it brand new because I loved it. Now it's only $249. Two transmitters, the charging case, and the receiver. What's the name of this wireless kit? This is the DJI wireless. This is the DJI wireless. So I feel like a commercial here, but it's not. Two transmitters, 1 and 2, and a receiver. And it has the built-in connector if you have an iPhone. If you have an iPhone or the Lightning or USB-C, snaps in. I like this case better than the Rode Wireless Pro system. I like the ability to hook it up right here without cables. The Rode, you have to put a cable, and you got that problem. What am I going to do? It's going to hang down? No. So it snaps in. The wireless, this battery charging case, they've had this from the beginning. It took years for Rode to get this. Rode still doesn't snap in. The transmitters are smaller than the Rode. The Rode are still clunky, this big square. These are like half the size. The quality is superb. I had the Rode Wireless 1 and 2. I had multiple versions of it. It was really good in its day. I'm not talking about the quality of the Rode Wireless Pro, but I'm talking about I don't want to connect a cable. I want to just snap it in and it's done. Works out of the box. How much is the Rode? It's $249 for 2 transmitters and a receiver. Like the iPhone case, I'm not sure. It's a minimal case. Like I said, the Rode can the DJI can just snap in there if you can see it. You don't need any adapter. This really works really well. And I can put this on my gimbal and it works. It doesn't add that much weight. With the Rode, I got a cable and I got to deal with the cable system and all that. I don't want that. And plus, I can just handhold this right here. Done. Like if I'm filming myself, I got the Pro Audio right there. It's a far superior way than the Rode. Period. I'm not talking about the quality. The Rode quality is fine. The Rode quality is fine, but it's clunky. The Rode case is weird. It's like fabric or something, or this is hard. It's a hard case. Anyway, whatever version you have, that's fine. How do you monitor audio levels with that DJI mic? Well, let's go look at it. It's got two 1/8-inch outputs. One for the camera, if you're using a DSLR, and one for monitoring your audio. And you can set your audio levels in the screen. Now, the other thing about this, I like this as an LCD screen where all your controls are. You don't have to look down if you have it on a DSLR like you do with the Rode. The Rode only goes this way. This you can see by looking at it straight on. So it has a separate monitoring output on the side. I'm waiting for the version 2 though. I'm waiting for the Rode. I'm waiting for the DJI Mic 2. They've already released a Mic 2, but they haven't made it available in the DJI case and everything. So I showed you how to monitor the levels, but that's typically the way you monitor levels. Have anyone shot in spatial video? I have not shot in spatial video because we have no real way to monitor it. Does it have 30-bit float? Not yet, but I don't shoot in 32-bit float. So there's too many physical reasons why I don't want the Rode Wireless Go. The cable, the clunky battery case. I don't want those things. That's old technology. The cable system that they have is old. The fact that it shoots 32-bit float, it doesn't affect me. I shoot 24-bit and it's fine. When the Rode Wireless, when this DJI updates to 32-bit, I'll have a look at it. But I had two Rode Wireless Go's and they were good for their day, but it's old. It's old technology. They're just playing catch up to the DJI system now. And it's big. It's clunky. When I first got the Rode Wireless Go, they charged you $19 for the magnet. They didn't have the lightning cable. They didn't include it. They charged you for that. They charged you for nickel and dime their customers for everything. Now they include it all, but they didn't originally. This comes with everything that you need. And it has a lightning connector or a USB-C connector built in. Or it also has a connector to put on a cold shoe. Must have 32-bit float going. It's magic. Now, going forward, but I'm not going to get the Rode Wireless Go. I'm not going to get that because it's all the things. It's too clunky. It's too big. It requires a cable to go into the phone. I don't like the case as much as I do the charging case. So here's, you seem to buy every new toy that comes out. I wish I had your bankroll. I do have the funds to buy things, but I'm not buying the goggles. I'm not buying a lot of things that I don't buy. I don't buy, like, for example, I'm very satisfied with my gimbal that I use right now. So I do buy a lot of things. You're right. I mean, I get a new phone every year for sure. I got the Lumix S5 Mark II X. Absolutely love it. It's fantastic that I use. I shoot in 6K open gate, 3:2 aspect ratio. You can zoom in. So you shoot 6K, and I put that on a 1080p timeline, and I have ability to zoom in incredible distance without losing resolution on a 1080p timeline. Even if I did a 4K timeline, I can still zoom in from the 6K version. So I haven't bought a new MacBook Pro. I have not bought a new MacBook Pro. I have not bought a new iPad. But no, I sold my Rode Wireless Go 1 and 2. I had 4 Rode Wireless Go systems. Absolutely. Hold on one second. People are asking me questions about that. I'll go get my setup real quick. I'll be right back. I will be right back. I have to switch this off real quick. Let me just do the basic room. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. So this is what I have for Pro Audio. I have the Belkin dock. And as you can see here, oh, there it is there. It has I'm shooting this with a 4 terabyte SSD plugged into the Belkin dock. This is an MKE 400 that plugs into one of my DJI transmitters. And that connects on the bottom here. And then once again, the DJI goes right into this dock. So the DJI plugs right in here. USB-C. The transmitter plugs on the bottom. Over here, I plug this mic into the bottom, and I have a forward-facing mic. And then I have one of the DJI mics on here, and then this cable here plugs into my iPhone. Now, when I'm on the gimbal, I put an extension on here and plug it in. But this is just a stationary one. This is I'm using this for the cat camera. So I had to take it off there. But that's what I got. It's a very minimal setup right here. But it has Pro Audio. It has a 4 terabyte SSD. And I can power it too with this into this plug. The Belkin is the best one to get that I've seen. It has 3 ports and it has the ability to power it. So that's my favorite. Let me pull this off here. I don't want it to stay. Let me go put this back on the cat cam. So we do have cats out there. Here we go. Lucy is to the lower front, left front, and then Miss Amanda Jones is in that one basket. Lucy's right here, little orange cat. You can see her. And then Miss Amanda Jones is all the way over. Let me pull myself over here and I'll show you. Miss Amanda Jones is right here. She's in that basket right over there. So, that should answer your question. What are you using to be able to use Pro Audio and have an SSD connected at the same time? Most of the hubs only have 5 gigabit speed if the size matters. So the Belkin 4-way is the best that I've seen. It's 20 megabits per second. It has 3 USB-C ports plus 1 port. You can power it. You can put a battery pack into that if you wanted to charge your phone. So, and it works really well. Our friend Bread FX, Coffee Time, sorry you're late. You were going to, yeah, you should be sorry that you're late. You should be buying everybody a coffee for being late. That's the new rules, I guess. If you're late, you're going to buy coffees. So, any other questions? I'm expecting Final Cut Pro 10.7.2 to be released along with the Vision Pro, which is February the 2nd. Now, that's a Friday. And Final Cut Pro updates come out on Thursday, so it might happen. It might be Thursday it comes out. Who the heck knows? We don't know. My opinion, Final Cut Pro for iPad is best for iPad editing, LumaFusion for mobile phone. Final Cut is the most fun when editing. That's fine. Everybody got their own opinions. I prefer LumaFusion by a wide margin. Number one is Final Cut Pro on the iPad still doesn't have a scrolling timeline. I don't know why they don't. It took 12 years to get it on the regular version. And it doesn't have a scrolling timeline. It doesn't have a whole bunch of things that LumaFusion has. As a matter of fact, let me pull this up. Apple has a nice audio level meter on iMovie for iPhone. They make a big deal about the iPhone camera, but there's no meter or other video controls. Yes, that's very true. So let me pull this up. If I have it somewhere here, and I do, multicam on LumaFusion is much better than multicam on the iPad version of Final Cut Pro. Even Steve Martin said that. If I can find his his video. Where is that? Just checking. Just be with you 1 minute. Hold on 1 second. Here it is. We will go over to here. Movies. Here's Steve. It's very loud in here. I'm not sure if anybody can even hear me. I'm going to walk around and do some interviews the best we can with my iPhone 15 Pro Max. We're live. Look. What'd you think about the Creative Summit?
I think it's been a really great Creative Summit. A lot of energy.
It is.
More energy than I felt for a while, and I feel like this is like the biggest one in terms of sheer numbers of people.
The Final Cut Pro team yesterday seemed very energized and very exuberant,
Yeah.
to say the least. And this whole crowd, I think, is as well.
Yeah, and I've been monitoring Twitter/X, and I noticed there's a lot of hashtags about this event going out. Lots of them.
Yes.
And I think that's good because that it's showing people that there's a very vibrant, passionate community of Final Cut Pro users. A lot of good energy, a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I don't like the scrolling timeline. I don't care that you don't like the scrolling timeline. Let me be honest. I don't care that you don't like it. Don't use it. It's an option. There's lots of features that I don't use in Final Cut Pro. Just turn them off. I love the scrolling timeline, and many, many people like the scrolling timeline. We had an update to Final Cut Pro 10.7.
Yes.
And as usual, no matter what you do, everybody's not going to be happy. I'm happy. I'm very happy with the update.
Well, I'm ecstatic with the update because it did not include text-based editing.
Do you have a favorite feature from 10.7 when they introduced it?
I love the scrolling timeline.
Another person that loves the scrolling timeline. Serena Catania is another one that loves the scrolling timeline. You don't like it? Just turn it off. That's all. You don't have to, nobody's making you use it. And we have this comment. Final Cut for iPad has a lot of features that LumaFusion can only dream of. Nonsense. Absolute, utter nonsense. Final Cut for iPad is missing 40 features that Final Cut Pro for the Mac has. 40 features. So, where is that? Let's show you some of those features. Final Cut parity for Final Cut Pro for the iPad. These are 40 features. No editing off external drives. LumaFusion has that. It's only one of the only NLEs that have it. You can't edit on an iPhone. You can't edit on old iPads. Subscription only. LumaFusion is not subscription. No white balance. No stabilization. LumaFusion has stabilization. No color board, color wheels, color curves, use saturation curves. Only one scope at a time. No multiple scopes. LumaFusion has multiple scopes. No audio sub-rolls, only 3 audio rolls. Only 1 video roll. No optimized media. Can't import ranges from connected SD cards. No detaching of audio. Now, some of these may have been fixed in a subsequent update, but this is the original list that I have. No auditions, can't use third-party plugins, no optical flow, no object trackers, no info inspector, no timeline index, no custom browser layouts. These are a lot of things that are missing on the Final Cut Pro for iPad version. Now, these are comparing it to Final Cut Pro for the Mac. There's 40 things that I found that's missing. Many of them LumaFusion has. LumaFusion is far superior, in my opinion, than Final Cut for the iPad. Steve Martin told me that the LumaFusion's version of Multicam is much, much better than the Final Cut Pro version of Multicam. There's plenty of things. You can choose whatever one you like. I'm not going to buy a new iPad just to use Final Cut on the iPad. LumaFusion runs fine. I can edit on my phone. Final Cut for the iPad cannot edit on the phone. It can also edit on Android devices that I don't really care about, and Chromebooks. I've edited more than 150 multicam projects. Final Cut Pro is great. It works. It does what it's supposed to do. There's still that audio problem from what I understand. It's been updated. I love the features on Final Cut Pro for the iPad. That's fine. You love it. That's fine. LumaFusion is far ahead of Final Cut for iPad. Yes. If you're being honest, it is far ahead. There's a couple of things. I had Terry and Chris on. Just recently. I just interviewed them, and we talked about Final Cut for iPad. They of course are familiar with it, but they've been out for years ahead of before Final Cut for iPad came out. They have a year's head starts. And which one you like better, it doesn't make any difference. That's whatever you like is fine. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. You like Final Cut for the iPad? I understand the appeal of that. But there's too many reasons why. I'm not going to buy an iPad just to run Final Cut on the iPad. I have Final Cut on my MacBook Pro. It's more powerful than Final Cut on the iPad. Going from Final Cut on the MacBook Pro to Final Cut on the iPad is a step down. I just showed you 40 features that it doesn't have. Final Cut Pro for iPad feature much more brighter than LumaFusion. Not even close. You're just saying things out of your hat. It's ridiculous. It's not brighter than LumaFusion. LumaFusion is already years ahead of Final Cut Pro on the iPad. But if you like it, that's fine. Doesn't make a difference. Just don't put down LumaFusion. I'm a big fan of LumaFusion, and I've been following it for years. They've been out for 7 years. They are 7 years ahead of Final Cut Pro on the iPad. I don't like Final Cut on iPad. I don't like paying subscription. Absolutely. No subscription. Yes, and that's the other thing. When I'm on the go, I edit with my MacBook Pro. It's not that much bigger than an iPad, and it's much more powerful than Final Cut on iPad. You like Final Cut on iPad? It's fine. That's completely fine. It's not, I like LumaFusion a lot better. I like editing on my MacBook Pro a lot better than Final Cut on the iPad. But if you like it, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I have a Facebook group, Final Cut on iPad. Facebook group, so. Let me pull that up real quick. I have Final Cut for iPad tips and tricks. We talk about tips and tricks on the iPad. We're on there right now. We're on there right now. Absolutely. So I have a Facebook group dedicated to Final Cut for iPad. I have nothing against it, but I'm just saying that I prefer editing on my MacBook Pro, and I prefer LumaFusion better. You can have your own opinion, of course. You have to enjoy touch editing to use the iPad. Yeah, I'm so good on the MacBook Pro, and the MacBook Pro is more powerful than an iPad. So it's either way is fine. If you don't have a MacBook Pro, I understand the appeal. If you're familiar with Final Cut Pro and you want to use an iPad, the familiarity is absolutely one of the reasons to do it. Apple, please stop the Final Cut Pro for iPad subscription business model. People will pay for the app and for updates. I cannot. So, number one is, if I get a new iPad, at that point, I can try out Final Cut for the iPad. Is it going to replace my MacBook Pro? No, it's not. I love touch editing. That's fine. That's fine. LumaFusion is touch editing too. LumaFusion, you pay once. If you paid once 7 years ago, you never paid another penny. $29 for 7 years. And they have add-on modules. They have the multicam as an add-on module, and FCP XML to export to Final Cut Pro as an add-on module. It's just what you're used to. You like touch editing, that's fine. I like my MacBook Pro. I'm very satisfied with it. Thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. I really appreciate it. Is anybody going to NAB besides me? Anybody going to NAB besides me? We're going to have a couple of, we're going to try to do a meetup, small meetup. iPad Final Cut Pro must get external drive editing to get serious. This is a perfect example. I can edit with LumaFusion with an external drive, with the media on the external drive, with my iPhone. When you do ENG, you must be able to access old projects and update them, sometimes multiple times over the months and years. Absolutely. NAB is the middle of April. It's exactly 3 months. I use LumaFusion on my iPad M1 Air. I am using it on Final Cut Pro, my 16 inches. Find voiceover sounds better than recording through Final Cut Pro than LumaFusion. So he has no idea why not. So the other thing, LumaFusion works on the M1 MacBook Pro. It works on the iPhone, works on the iPad, older iPads, works on Chromebooks, works on Android devices, and works on the MacBook Pro. For $29, not drip, drip, drip subscription for the rest of your life if you want to use it. But it's not bad. $4.99 is not bad. $4.99 is fine. But I prefer LumaFusion over Final Cut Pro. I've watched the tutorials. I've seen it in person at the Creative Summit. I prefer LumaFusion. If I get a new iPad, I don't even know why I would try Final Cut Pro on the iPad. I have my MacBook Pro. It's a superior version. Why would I downgrade and go to the iPad? If I was just starting out, I might try it out. But I have 20 years using Final Cut Pro on the Mac. I'm not going to go and use it on the iPad. So, what about NAB? Who's going to NAB? Anybody? Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you very much. Let's try another one of these. Here's somebody who hasn't been seen for a while. Now, let me just do this. Let me tell you about this. During the live stream, this is Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. During the live stream, some of the transmission got fuzzy. That's why this looks a little bit strange. This is somebody you might not have seen for a while.
What am I doing? I'm going to talk to you a second. Oh, no. See, look, that's our live monitor right there. All right. This is connected via the Mac Pro via continuity camera. Okay. But my screen is black over there. I can't see anything. I have to make sure I'm framed up over there. All right. So, what did you think about the update to Final Cut?
It is the completion of an idea. Richard, I met you, and you were complaining about a scrolling timeline. And now here we are, after all these years.
I was shocked. Pleasantly.
We're done.
No, we're not done.
We're done. We finished.
We're not done.
This is the end of the story.
We're not done. That's the wine talking. We're absolutely not done. But this is a good, solid update, right?
It is.
If you don't know, that was Sam Messman. He's, of course, has been a Final Cut Pro community for years and years and years. Major presence. He wasn't scheduled at the Creative Summit, which I was kind of surprised. He just showed up on his own, and we caught up with him, of course. So let me see what else I have. I have some other notes here for before I went on the air. So what do you think about the possibility of a Final Cut Pro, of a Pro camera being put out by Apple? Does anybody think that's a possibility, as Michael Cioni says? I don't know. Let's check on this again. We have 2 cats. 2 cats in the cat room. That's facing east. Facing east. They said they have, they like that room, especially in the morning. Let me see what else I have. Oh, so the Vision Pro specs. Vision Pro specs. It has Apple 3D HEVC video format. That's what it's called. Apple 3D HEVC video format. Landscape only. No vertical. Data rate of 130 megabits per sec per minute, it says. That seems weird. 30 frames per second, 1080p. And Eric says no Pro camera from Apple. I don't think it would be a Pro level. I think it would be a step up from the iPhone and maybe a step down from DSLRs. But as powerful as the camera is on the iPhone 15 Pro Max and all the Pro features, ProRes on an iPhone video, now ProRes log on an iPhone video, they certainly could make a step up, so you can have interchangeable lenses and stuff. We'll see. I'm not saying it's definite. I'm just saying it was an interesting idea from Michael Cioni. I think it is possible they got them goggles coming out. Maybe they're popping out for a camera too. Yeah, it's the step up from the iPhone would be you don't need all the iPhone stuff. You don't need messaging. You don't need this, but you could do interchangeable lenses. They might even go with a third-party lens company. Who the heck knows? Every new Pro Cam must have the ability to connect with the phone and go live on YouTube social media without the need for Wi-Fi. Otherwise, don't bother. That's a good point. But you can do that now, can't you? Just use your phone connection over. You can connect via phone. When I'm out live, like at NAB, I'll use my phone to tether the phone connection to stream live. So the interesting thing is my Lumix S5 Mark II X has the ability to stream live directly from the camera, and I've tried it a few times. It's a little bit clunky going through menus and stuff to get it going, but it does work. I have tried it a few times, but it's not as easy as this, using the iPhone. The iPhone is much better. The iPhone is much better because you can just go directly to YouTube or directly to Facebook without going through, some other. And of course, it has the cell connection, so that's the other option. Now I got to save the cell connection when I'm at NAB, so I have the ability to stream live. Because when I'm in my hotel room, I'll go ahead and stream from the Wi-Fi connection. Darius says, stream live with the camera and nothing else, no laptop or desktop. Right, so how would you connect to the internet? Would you connect? You have to connect somehow. You have to connect to the internet somehow. It have to be either Wi-Fi or your cell connection. You're saying the camera would have its own cell connection? It had to be a cell connection? Yeah, that could be an option. What would I say would be the percentage that I would think that they would do a camera? It would be interesting because, connect via your phone. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay, that's fine. but you can do that just like a Wi-Fi connection now. So the idea of a phone would be, they have so many pro features in this. This is the iPhone 15 Pro Max, that it's limited because it's on an iPhone. Some of the things, the sensor size, for example. So a bigger sensor would be nice. Interchangeable lenses would be nice. I don't think if they went with something this form factor, I don't know. Would they go with L mount or Sony mount? I don't know. Or just with like moment lenses or some other kind of lenses. That I don't know. But that's just something Michael Cioni said, so I put it up. There. Let's go over here. Let me just go over here real quick. And we will. So we have our, this is one of our biggest Final Cut Pro groups. We're approaching 12,000 members on Final Cut Pro Tips and Tricks. You can find these on Facebook. Of course, we're on there live right now. Oh, you know what? Why isn't that on there? That's weird. I didn't put that on there. Very, very strange. I didn't put it on there. But anyway, that's one of our Facebook groups. That's one of our big Facebook groups. We also have this one. We just started this one, Final Cut Pro 10.7. We're going to be just talking about Final Cut Pro as we go along. 10.7, we're not going to talk about 10.6, 10.5, 10.4. It's not a generic everything Final Cut Pro group. It's specifically for Final Cut Pro 10.7. Now you can find that online, of course. Groups, Final Cut Pro 10.7, 10.7. So, that's why I buy red cameras. Pro cams are already out there. This would not be the high-level pro camera. This would be maybe in between the iPhone and a DSLR, something in that range, not for the $20,000 camera or $60,000 camera. Thank you very much for the thumbs up, by the way. It's appreciated. So, let me just grab that real quick. Ah, look at that. We will take a... Yeah, very good. Yeah, red cameras, red cameras are, of course, are top of the line. That's not the market it would just be a step above above the iPhone, and maybe like the DSLR level. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It was just an interesting comment. Michael Cioni's the one that said he thought it might be something that Apple would be interested in. We'll have to see. Have you seen any good Final Cut Pro tutorials this week? I've seen a couple. Let me see if I can find one. There's a couple that I saw. Oh, we'll have to. I usually look for tutorials. They're on X or in the Final Cut Pro groups. I belong to probably a dozen Final Cut Pro groups. I have 3 or 4 myself, and then a bunch of other ones that I belong to. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't put that on. Let me just pull that up and I'll put it over there. Copy, paste. I didn't see it on Tips and Tricks group, so I'll put it on there right now. There we go. I didn't see it listed on there, so I'll put it on the Final Cut Pro Tips and Tricks group. So anyway, the Vision Pro is coming out in a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I am somewhat expecting Final Cut Pro 10.7.2 to be released around the Final Cut Pro, Vision Pro. I mean, the Apple Vision Pro, because to enable editing in Final Cut Pro with the Vision Pro, doesn't that make sense? It does to me. So after that is NAB in the middle of April. NAB in the middle of April. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It's appreciated. And will the Final Cut Pro team have a presentation? Will Apple have any presentation there? They might have something with Vision Pro, although you have to sit down and be fitted for it. Maybe they'll get the system down where you can do that in a minute or two. NAB would be a perfect time for people to try Vision Pro. I would try it if it's available. It doesn't take 10 minutes to set up. I would certainly try that. So that would be interesting if they do something at NAB. Apple / the Final Cut Pro team, don't know. We don't know if they're going to or not. Don't forget to subscribe over there on the YouTube channel. Press the subscription button and the good old link thingy. Let me see what else. Here is our official Final Cut Radio TV Facebook group, where we talk about these live streams and everything Final Cut Pro. That's just a general. We have over 2,000 members over there. It's not as big as the Tips and Tricks group, which is almost 12,000. We'll probably hit 12,000 in February. But it has 2,000 members over there. And we'll be continuing these Saturday mornings, Final Cut TV and Coffee. Wow, almost 2 hours. Gabbing and gabbing and gabbing. There's the group there. All right, everyone, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you very much for showing up. Thank you for the heads up. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you very much. Thanks for contributing to our conversation. And if nothing happens in Final Cut Pro this week, I'm planning a couple more interviews over the next couple of weeks. So we'll have an interview during the week, typically at 2 o'clock. And we got a couple more scheduled. Marcus Moore says, take care, Richard. Absolutely. We'll be back next Saturday, hopefully. If it snows, I'm going to be doing a local Facebook group. If you want to follow me on Facebook, all my social media is Richard Taylor TV. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everything. Good day. Have a great weekend. Take care. Absolutely. Thank you all for tuning in. And we'll be talking to you. If there's any update to Final Cut Pro or Final Cut for iPad, if I get a new iPad Pro, which I'm planning on, I might get that before I get my MacBook Pro. I'll give Final Cut on the iPad a spin. Absolutely. But whatever one you use, if you like the iPad version of editing, that's fine. The pencil is cool. The scroll wheel on the Final Cut for iPad is very, very cool. I expect to see that in LumaFusion coming up at some point. But I like editing on my MacBook Pro. I have 3 big screens. I connect to my RAIDs. I got a 56 terabyte RAID. I can't connect to that on the iPad Pro. But I certainly will try it out. Every time I see it, it's very, very impressive. We saw it at the demoed at the Final Cut Pro and Apple campus. So we'll see what happens. If nothing else happens during the week, I'll see you back here next Saturday. Thanks for coming by, everybody. It's appreciated.